In a major success in India's fight against COVID-19, India has given emergency use authorization to Zydus Cadilah's ZyCoV-D. This is the second indigenous vaccine after Covaxin. ZyCoV-D is different from other vaccines. This can be given to children above the age of 12 years of age, and it is the world's first DNA vaccine against COVID-19. Take a look.
A big boost to India's COVID fight. After Covaxin, Covishield and Sputnik, now India will get a fourth vaccine in the market soon. The 3-dose ZyCoV-D jab against COVID. ZyCoV-D is an indigenous vaccine developed by Zydus Cadilah Pharmaceutical Company. It claims 100% efficacy against moderate COVID and 66.6% efficacy against symptomatic patients. ZyCoV-D isn't different from the other COVID vaccines available in India. It is the only COVID vaccine in the world that is DNA-based. What's even more interesting, the Zydus vaccine is needle-free. Most importantly, the vaccine has been approved by Drug Controller for use on children above 12 years.
We have mostly finished all our recruitment. We have by far recruited the largest number of patients in India, which is 28,000 volunteers who have been vaccinated as part of the trial. This is by far one of the largest trials that has been conducted.
Soon after the approval granted to ZyCoV-D, Prime Minister Narendra Modi took to Twitter calling the feat by our scientists remarkable. Zydus Cadilah has pledged to deliver over 12 crore doses annually. As India moves forward with opening up schools, this vaccine gives us a better shot at that. With Milan Sharma and Sneha Mordani in New Delhi, Bureau Report, India Today.
Joining me now is the MD of Zydus Cadilah, Dr. Sharvil Patel, and Zydus Cadilah is the latest vaccine to get an emergency use authorization. Not just that, this is the vaccine that has been approved for children in India, the first vaccine for children above the age of 12. First of all, Dr. Patel, congratulations. I want to ask you, every parent who has a 12-year-old child and a little over 12 years old would want to know, when are the first doses of the vaccine for the children going to be available in India?
So thank you. Yeah, it's indeed a matter of pride moment for all of us that we have been able to successfully bring to market a vaccine that will be approved now for children above the age of 12. We are working very hard now to see how do we scale up and get all the regulatory permissions through for the drug to be released or the vaccine to be released to the market. Our best estimate now is that by middle to end September, we can see the starting of the deliveries. And by middle to late October, we would see a larger scale up of the vaccine rollout.
So the inoculations essentially will be starting by October for children?
If everything goes well, by middle to end September, but yeah, largely in larger quantities by middle October.
You know, also, what are the future plans? You've also been asked by the regulators to give some more data on the 2-dose vaccine regime. Just tell us a little more about what next as far as the 2-dose vaccine is concerned. How is it different from the 3-dose?
So the next step for us is that we have done an immunogenicity trial on the two-visit vaccine also, which will be delivered in day 0 and day 28. And we have seen comparable, but also sometimes significantly better immunogenicity. So we are in discussions with the regulators and the SEC to see how do we move forward in the future with creating a 2-dose regimen also. We will also at the same time now start building for a trial for the children between the ages of 3 and 12. And that will also shortly follow.
So for trials for children between 3 to 12, you will be required to have a fresh set of application made before the regulator, if I'm correct?
Yes, of course. Yes. For 3 to 12, we will also have to do some bit of trial.
So when is that expected? Because that would be music to the ears of many people who have little children in primary school at home and would be wanting to look at this vaccine again.
Yes, so I think the whole vaccine development journey starts in that way, that you try it on adults, then the age groups of adolescents, and then you move to children. As we have just completed the safety and efficacy on this, we will now file for the trial permission for the children younger than that also in the next maybe 7 to 10 days.
What can people expect? Because a lot of people are asking now, this is a DNA vaccine at the end of the day. Will the side effects be any different from, say, what is being induced by a Covishield or a Covaxin or a Sputnik V?
So these, as you said, it's a first DNA vaccine. It's in the whole overall class of vaccines, is the recombinant vaccine. If you see today, there are two recombinant vaccines, the Moderna and the Pfizer one, which are mRNA based. This is a DNA based vaccine. WHO and the US FDA have had clear guidelines for multiple years and have, as recently as 2021, refreshed the guidelines for the DNA plasmid vaccines, and they have been found to be safe and well tolerated by both these agencies. In fact, they have waived off many of the safety work that needs to be done because they found the platform to be very safe. In our trial that we have conducted in 50 centers with more than 28,000 volunteers, which included children in the ages group 12 to 18, we didn't see any dropouts related to the vaccine. In related to severe side effects, in related to mortality or seriousness, we have not seen any related to the vaccine arm. With respect to any mild side effects, there was no difference between the placebo and the vaccine arm when it came to mild side effects also. And this, as I said, has been done in a very large number of 28,000 volunteers without any dropout. So this bodes well for the vaccine, that it's a safe and efficacious vaccine. And that's how the regulators have approved it.
Also, I want to ask you, the thing is that right now even mRNA vaccines have reduced efficacy against the Delta variant, which is the most predominant variant in the world right now. What is the efficacy that this vaccine is showing against this particular variant? And you did do the trials at the peak of the second wave, so there is hope that this factor would have been included as well, isn't it?
So for our trial, which is being done at the peak of the second wave, all our positive cases that we have seen are in the periods of April, May, June. And we have done a zero surveillance of all the majority of these positive cases, and all of them have been found to be Delta variant. So when we came out with our interim efficacy of 66%, this is definitely against the Delta variant, because all our vaccine results came out in the period of April to June.